Today, many are disappointed after Governor Mills vetoed an act to restore access to federal laws beneficial to Wabanaki tribes.
According to the AP, Governor Mills said she doesn't want the tribes in Maine to be unfairly excluded from federal benefits enjoyed by other tribes across the country. However, she argued that the bill, sponsored by Democratic House Speaker Rachel Talbot Ross, was vague and confusing. We got comments from a tribal leader press conference held after the decision was made, and they voiced the terms vague, confusing, even unconstitutional was invalid.
What we're asking for is equal authority and an equal say in the things that affect us. So this bill is not only fair, it's a pared down version of what has been presented in the past. We've tried to make every adjustment. And the fact of the matter is anything beyond the status quo is not going to be acceptable to her views. Maine citizens already deal with a disparity of laws between tribal and state law. And quite frankly, I think they're smarter than that, and they do a nice job of being our partners and adjusting with us. And this is not about Maine people as is represented by the legislative vote. This is about an institutional problem between the tribes and the second floor of the State House.
The House and Senate approved the bill with bipartisan majorities, which is enough to override the governor's veto. And you can find more statements from Maine lawmakers on our website.